left where you have.
Everybody fall on, please. Go to the line. It'll be easier to walk because you can see where you're walking. Anybody would like a seat? If you actually get behind the chairs, if you're not going to sit. And you can be up this side too, so you can hear. Well, just down in front. Here.
It's no fault. I know. Good thing I didn't try to wear those Puma boots. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kristi. Alabaster was my best friend for the past 20 years. And, I did the best I could organizing this with what I had, and without all of you helping me, there's no way we could have pulled this together. So all of you, thank you so much. Alabaster was just the most beautiful person I think I've ever known in my life. I don't think anybody ever met her that didn't come away impacted. And she had that way of those hugs that she would give. And it just made it feel like everything was okay in the world. There's just not any words. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I miss her so much already. I would like for anybody who has anything that they would like to share about Alabaster, please come up, even if just for a second. And I know she would like to hear what we all have to say, and I would too. I think this is all I can do right now. I'm going to pass it off to whoever would like to speak. We've got a few people that are going to sing. So, volunteers. Chris. Yes, please. Thank you.
I don't know if many of y'all know, I'm Chris. Alabaster, I knew him as Jeffrey. He was my brother. I know that he, for a long time, dealt with his identity. I accepted him, my mom accepted him, and our dad accepted him. But, as I refer to as Jeffrey, that's what I grew up knowing. I know that when we were young, Jeffrey never met a stranger. when we were little, we lived in the apartments off of Dallas Highway called Greengate Apartments. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with that. He would go up to strangers' apartments in our building, knock on their door, introduce himself, give him his name, say, "We live in apartment 1, you come on down for supper." Much to my mother's, chagrin, like, what? Most people would understand, that he was, a young child and that this was just his personality, which was, I told several times, I said, I was always the shy one. Jeffrey was the open, never met a stranger. He was always, and we came from a family of huggers. My dad was a hugger. Jeffrey was a hugger. I was somewhat of a hugger, but he definitely was much more of a hugger than I was. We also, growing up, we tried to do things as, brothers. We fought with each other a lot. We played together a lot. I remember one time we were playing outside and playing water pistols with other kids in the neighborhood, and his water pistol was empty, and he was going to throw it at someone, and I happened to step between him and his target. I got it square in the middle of the face. When we were 13, or when he was 13, when Jeffrey was 13, a friend of mine and I, we were high school seniors, and we decided, well, let's take him to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'm the one. My mother blamed me that for years. He loved that show. It fit him. And I know that when we were in college, Jeffrey actually was a double brother. He was also a fraternity brother of mine. I got him into fraternity, so I thought as something that we could share as adults, not just childhood memories, but we could share adult memories. He coordinated one of the biggest Rocky Horror Picture Shows that Kennesaw State had ever seen. I walked into the student center, I'm like, what in the world? But that was just Jeffrey. That's what he did. The only other thing that I would like to mention is that I'm so thankful for Kristi and all of Jeffrey's friends that could do this. I wished I could have made the arrangements, but they did. They stepped in and they did a wonderful, beautiful job. The only other thing I would like to do is I'd like to give a Native American grieving prayer that I have seen that it really touched me. This would be, apologize for just a moment. This is the Native American prayer for the grieving. I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints of an arrow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the mornings, hush. I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still, each new dawn. Thank you.
Who's next? Who wants to go next?
Looks like Eric. Eric, you up? Alright.
Hey, Alabaster. Remember me? This SOB came into my house just like that.
Damn right she did.
You know it. She comes bursting into my house. Nick, thanks for that one. Appreciate it. Just spurs Alabaster on me. And she walks into my house, bigger than life, and starts telling me what to do in my house. Starts telling me I needed to clean this, and what else did she say? Something about some decoration was off. I look at Nick and I go, she does not, by the way, at this point, I've been introduced and now know that she's a she, even though it's got a beard longer than yours, sir. I'm pretty open, but yeah, I'm a little confused. And I look at him, I'm like, she does not know who she's dealing with, does she?
Oh, you didn't know her yet.
And his wife sits there and goes, mm-hmm. That's all I needed, and I just tore her little ass apart. And said, it's my house, and this is the way this goes. And I referenced her as a he, and oh my God. She tried to tear me new, and I was like, excuse me, bitch, but the beard? Hello, I'm doing the best I can. I met her once, and I'm here today because of that. I'm here for Nick. I'm here for all of you because you made an impression on us. And in a way of my Italian people, I would like to say, bello amore, beautiful love.
My name's Eric. I know a lot of y'all out there. A lot of us grew up with Alabaster. We look back and we think of all the good times we shared, all the laughter. Think of all the music, the good times, the inspiration. Alabaster was so positive. So positive. Visited her twice in the hospital. You would never thought that she was facing the struggle of her life. Never. She wanted varsity. That's what she wanted. And I brought it to her, you know. Yeah, you got your varsity too, didn't you? I love you though too. I thought of the courage that she displayed in that hospital room. Now earlier this year I had the pleasure of having her stay with me for 6, 8, 10, you know, how many weeks it was that went on, you know, but you know. And we talked about a lot of things. We had a lot of fun. We made a lot of jokes. We talked politics. We talked love, romance, you know, music, all of these things. Life. We thought about growing up together. Knowing someone for 20, 30 years, things like that. I'm shocked to be standing here amongst y'all right now and have her gone, stepping through the great gulf. I'm shocked. But I can tell every one of you that you could take a lesson in courage from her. You could take a lesson in belief and positivity from her. I never walked out of that hospital room thinking that that would be the last time that I would see her. Never. I walked out of that hospital room thinking, we're going to be dancing again. Trying to talk her to playing one of my songs if I could get her to do it someplace, you know?
Be careful.
Right. So, I thought, what could I share with y'all to put this in perspective? So, I'm going to read today Khalil Gibran's great poem on death. I'm sorry if it seems somber, but it's beautiful. And I think in that beauty, it's reflective of our friend Alabaster. Would you know the secret of death? But how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life? The owl whose night-bound eyes are blind unto the day cannot unveil the mystery of light. If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. For death and life are one, even as the river and the sea are one. In the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge about the beyond. And in the seeds dreaming beneath the snow, your heart dreams of spring. Trust the dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. Your fear of death is but the trembling of the shepherd when he stands before the king, whose hand it lays upon him in honor. Is the shepherd not joyful beneath his trembling, that he shall wear the mark of the king? Yet he is more mindful of the trembling. For what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to be free from breath and its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink of the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, there shall you begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. I love you, Alabaster. I'm going to miss you. I love all of y'all. And I hope that we can continue to come together and celebrate life and not let one of us go that we haven't spent time together, celebrated together, mourned together. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Charlie. I'm not used to speaking in front of big crowds of people, so if you could all just turn around. I didn't know Alabaster as long as half of you, but I fair to say that she touched me like she touched you, and I can probably say it was a positive way that she touched all of us. I wouldn't even be with my wife right now if it weren't for Alabaster. But those of you that were wondering, Kristi and I were with her when she passed, and I just wanted you all to know that she went peacefully. And picking out this gravesite here, in this natural field, I figured we would have her facing west so she could see the sunsets. And all of this tall grass right here, they cut it down for hay, so I thought it would be appropriate to have her facing the hay.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Perfect. So this is surreal. I lost Alabaster close in my life some years ago. I became suburban dad guy, and she didn't. So, but when I woke up Saturday and got the news about this, it was a very odd moment. It stirred things in me that I wouldn't have anticipated because of the time in my life, very young, that we came together, and the things that she showed me. We were already weird, right? But that's the person right there that really showed me how beautifully weird everything could be. So it's a very strange word to think of with this person, but as we travel through life and we end up with our mentors, I can't think of a better word to say about Alabaster, because and my prepositions go back and forth, and I apologize for that I knew him then, and he took me through so many experiences that I would have never ever anticipated at 17, 18 years old, into clubs and 2 a.m. drag shows, and it was for a bunch of goth kids, it was the most colorful time in my life, I have to say. Yeah, so there are several of our old friends that can't be here. Katrina wanted me to send her love, specifically. Many more are coming in Friday, and we are going to tear the Highlander a new one in your honor, I promise, and I love you.
Hello, I'm Krista. So I had to write it down so I don't start sobbing like a fool up here. I love you. Miss you so much. Thank you for the stories and the voice of reason. Thank you for being loud in your face, attitude, and love, happiness with brilliance all at once. There will never be another like you, and there never should be. Your time was not enough, but your existence was very meaningful to every one of us that considered you a friend. You felt the waves of emotion in music and in people. You definitely partied hard, and what else would we have of you? A legacy? You have left more of an impression than you will ever know to Atlanta, the club scene, to your friends, and to the rest of the world you have ever come in contact with. I know you wanted a quiet exit, but in our hearts it was a boom. Rest peacefully now for a bit, but let every soul that you come in contact with now know who you are, and I'm sure you will. Till we meet again, my fairy godmother. I love you.
Is that it? Nobody else wants to speak?
There's a couple more. Lee?
everyone, I'm Brandon. I know a lot of you, but maybe not all of you from clubs and everything else. Pretty much where I know Alabaster from. I was just standing here thinking about, what did I like so much besides, of course, the hundreds of songs that she played for us that we danced to all the time. And I just realized, because she was the most unapologetically herself of almost anyone I know. And I completely respect and love that. And like so many others who have spoken have said, she made such a huge impact on everyone she met, even people she met for just once or a little while. My wife, Gilly, I was so happy when Alabaster came to my last tequila and porn party, which is obviously the perfect environment for her. and Gilly met her just that one time, and ever since then, Gilly's loved her and thought about her, and feels so bad that she's gone now. So Alabaster, thank you for all the fantastic times, and most importantly, thank you for always being yourself.
Amen.
Hi everybody, my name is Amanda, and I met Alabaster when I was 16. Alabaster was part of a family that I needed at that time when my own family wasn't there, and remained that way for a long time. I looked up the word alabaster, and alabaster is an ancient stone used for carving artifacts, decorative, ornamental artifacts, and that seems to have so many analogies with our alabaster, a timeless spirit that is a very old soul who seemed to shape herself in a way that made anyone comfortable around her. No judgment at all. And who brought so much joy to everyone she came into contact with. So even as young as she was when she picked that name, I think she knew she picked the perfect name for herself. Like many of you who danced with Alabaster, I knew that every time that she was DJing, I was so relieved because I knew it would be an amazing night. I remember distinctly because I was a radio DJ back then. I would always get these promos of this weird esoteric stuff, and I would bring it to her. I would be early as possible. I would always bring her records and CDs that I got, and there was not one single time she refused me. She would always play what I wanted, and it was just such a kind, gracious thing to do, really. And over the years, we lost touch as I entered into the workforce and did not reconnect until many of us probably reconnected through social media in 2010. And I made it to California twice when she was there in January of 14 and then the summer of 16. And both times it was such a short trip, but we did connect. We connected on the phone, we connected through FaceTime. We just never connected face to face in California. And that made me so sad. So the last time I saw her, I distinctly remember how she made me feel. Was at Brandon and Gilly's tequila and porn party. And thank God somebody took a picture and they captured the look on my face, because I was just always so blown away by the kind of crazy stunts she would pull. and the kind of brass tacks that she had to do the things she did. And I know that's because there was real love there, unconditional love. And I know that love is real because of how much I'm grieving. So I decided to sing because it's a beautiful song, and it is somber, so I'm sorry. But I genuinely feel that when you truly love someone and that person departs, that a piece is broken and it just won't be fixed. And it's okay to have that broken piece. It's better to acknowledge it and honor it. So, I'm not going to use the mic cap. If I am frightened, then I can hide it. If I am crying, I'll call it laughter. If I am haunted, I'll call it my imaginary friend. If I am bleeding, I'll call it wine. But if you leave me, then I am broken. And if I'm broken, then only death remains. If I am sinking, then I can fight it. If I am drifting, no one will know it. If I am blinded, I'll have my voices still to guide me. If they get fled away, I'll bless the silence. But if you leave me, then I am broken. And if I'm broken, then only death remains. I love you, bitch. I'll miss you. Thank you.
My name is Candy. I met Juju about 1.5 years ago. And I can truthfully say, for the first time in my life, a human being changed me. She truthfully created the possibility of strength, wisdom, and courage for myself and many other people. And for that, I will forever be grateful. And I know that she loved me, and she knows I loved her. And I will miss her, but I'm very grateful for her. And I'm grateful to be here with all of you. Bye. Boo-boo. Stay out of trouble.
No, not a chance.
I'll leave if you get hungry.
Anyone else?
My name's Lizzie Shane, and I visited Alabaster a couple times in the hospital, and we hadn't been seeing each other face to face in a while, but we kept in contact when she was in California. And I was going through this really rough time, and she sent me this beautiful letter, and it fixed it for me. And she basically had thanked me for hiring her at Fifi Mahoney's like 20 years before. And it seemed so strange to me. I mean, it made me happy because it had touched her and it had helped her. And she said it lit this spark back in her to be artistic and to do those things. And that made me happy. But I also didn't understand it because every time she said that, and she said it to me again in the hospital, I just looked at her and said, you earned that job. I mean, you'd seen her, right? She was amazing. Mm-hmm. And she could beat a face down like bitch wouldn't believe. And, and so she was always really amazing in the shop and really good at that. But somebody said that they could take a lesson from her. And I just wanted to share one story that hopefully you'll take a lesson from it, because it kind of changed me and how I think about life. So I was the boss, and I was not really good at being a boss. I was very young, maybe 20, maybe 19. And I'd known Alabaster for about 2 years before I hired her. And she was Alabaster, so she'd come in late. She'd come in when she felt she should be there. She'd come in still feeling the night before. being young and passive aggressive, now I'm aggressive, but back then I was passive aggressive, I would try and think of some way to punish her for coming in late. And I didn't really want to do anything really bad, you know, because I loved her. So I'd be like, you have to take all the trash out. And she'd be like, okay. And she would go round up all the trash. And it was Fifi Mahoney was doing Little 5 Points. And Sevenanda was down the street still on Euclid then. And we'd have to walk all the way down the street with our trash behind Sevenanda and find the dumpster. Please. She'd put on her sunglasses. She'd have her trash can. She'd come back an hour later. She stopped at every store between here and Sevenanda. On the way back, she got a smoothie. She made conversation. She made any bad situation fun. She just didn't let life hand her a bad deck. And if they did, she'd be like, I'm going to do things with this deck you have never seen before. And I hope, like me, I hope you all take that from her life.
Okay, so I'm probably a good bit younger than probably most of you. You hush. So when I was very young, this bitch would take me places that I had never seen, should not have been in, trouble I should not have gotten into. And then when I left, went to the military, came back, I ended up in a really bad spot in my life, and she was probably the only person other than my friend, the other friend that I've known since I was really young, that completely turned it around. Like, I don't think that I would have been where I'm at all, not even close, without her to tell me to shut up and suck it up and stop being a little bitch about it, basically. And it was like a combination of telling me to shut up and loving me at the same time that I could get to where I'm at. Like, I probably wouldn't be married, I wouldn't have kids, I wouldn't have a great job, I wouldn't have worked to get where I'm at all, like, not even at all. I probably wouldn't have even been here if she wouldn't beat my ass for it. And I went to see her Monday, and she would put on like there's nothing going on, like she didn't have any, she was good, no problems. But now that I work in healthcare, I knew it wouldn't have been long after that. So that's why I was glad I made a point to, I told Kristi I would have hated myself for all the help that she gave me. I would have died if I didn't tell her, thanks for making me get my shit together. And also thanks for, letting me get in trouble. When I was young enough to get in trouble and not really get in serious trouble. We probably could have gotten in serious trouble, but part of me kind of hates her for being gone, but it's one of those things where it'll not affect your life. So.
Just take Alabaster with me. Hi, I'm LP, and I saw Alabaster in ICU, and he was in a lovely, drugged out stupor and didn't really wake up while I was there. But I did talk. She insisted that I call the next day, per Robin, and said, LP, I need you to be the official videographer for everything. I'm pretty sure she was still heavily medicated. And I was like, as you wish, ma'am. Whatever you want, I'll record it all. And like Amy was saying that I knew that the laissez-faire sort of attitude was a front. I have enough experience in healthcare to understand that this was a significant issue. So for me, I'd kind of made my peace, and I think that Alabaster had too, to be honest. I mean, my relationship, my experiences were very different than what I heard other people say. I wasn't out getting into trouble, Alabaster and I would have those deep philosophical conversations. Of course, Alabaster did not tell me prior to starting these conversations that there was somebody named Molly involved. Hint, hint. And so, you know, I'm like, we're off here in some, you know, other planet, other plane, and so, you know, it's been really special for me to see how important Alabaster was to everybody who has spoken. There's a million Alabasters, you know, like there's a million all of us. Everybody had their own relationship. Mine was uniquely mine. And what a bright light. What an example of how to kind of go and do what you want. And hey, you know what? If you don't like it, here you go. Spin all over. And, you know, I just think it was time to leave the mortal coil. You know, and I don't feel necessarily, I think for me this is a celebration of the tremendous personality, this spirit. I don't have so much memories of experiences, but of feelings. How I felt when I was with. How I felt because this bitch would tell some stories. And then you could be a part of a story, even if you weren't a part of the story. So it's like, and I mean, and there's always, I don't know, I remember little things like the mega sunglasses that would fit over the whole head, you know, that kind of stuff. And it was funny, I suddenly flashed back and saw Alabaster in some big furry coat with big furry boots looking like he'd skinned a Muppet, you know, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to take with me. The joy, the light, just, there was a lot to this person, a whole lot more than makeup and attitude and big sunglasses. And I just feel really fortunate that I got to be a part of that. And I hope that what people will take away from this is not to be sad, but to be happy that this was our experience. You know? Well, I love Juju. What a maniac. So, we need more maniacs in our lives, basically. Thanks, guys.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, and Alabaster was one of my best friends in the whole world. I actually met her when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I've known her longer than most people. When I met her, she was Jeff, standing wearing a Hard Rock Cafe sweatshirt with a big anarchy symbol drawn on it in a video store working near my house. And I actually gave her her first makeover and dyed her hair pink. And I had no idea the door I was opening with that experience. And she became one of my best friends. I mean, we were inseparable. We went to hundreds of concerts together. I was actually her date to all her frat boy events. I was her beard. And when I asked her, Jeff, do you think you might be gay? She said, honey, I'm not gay, I'm just overly dramatic. But deep down, we all knew. And as much as I'm going to miss her, I know that she lived a big, full life in the time that she was here and didn't miss out on anything. And I loved that she could walk in a room and get to know everybody there. She never met a stranger. And even when I was going through my own grief, when my brother took his life, her and Amy are the only two people who came to comfort me in my own grief. So I know what a good heart she has and what she would feel about how we're feeling now. But I feel like I had to tell her that I love her one last time. Because she's made one of the biggest impressions of anybody I've ever known.
Is that it?
Can I have a round two?
Wait, I got
go.
But you can go first if you want.
No.
All right. Hey. Okay.
I was 12 when I met's the wrong word. When I saw Alabaster for the first time at 688, I say saw because when you are sneaking into a club at 12 years old, you don't introduce yourself to the people who work there. Sorry, Carrie. Sorry, Tarana, my bad. She lit up a whole room, and here we are at a goth night with a bunch of goth kids in their gother than goth outfits, and bitch is wearing bright pink. Or, she's got a neon green headband on, or whatever, and I was just transfixed because, as somebody else said, she was unapologetically herself. No matter what, no matter where. I mean, this girl showed up for club nights in moo-moos sometimes. That was just, she wore whatever the hell she wanted to. Later in life, she started doing my roommate's hair. Tina is in Chicago and cannot be here today, but she sends her love, baby. She started doing my roommate's hair, and I'm a giant baby about my hair. I've been a redhead my whole life. You don't need to know, but I was terrified to let anybody touch it. And having watched Alabaster handle Tina, I felt safe letting her play with my hair. Now, that might have been a mistake. She is the first person who taught me how to put Crisco in my hair. But it fixed it at the time. It was cool. Hilariously, one of the times she came to my house to do my hair, my partner, Forrest, he's the one taking pictures, she had a giant crush on Forrest because he was just cute as he could be. So she loved coming to my house to see Forrest, but we had a next door neighbor who was like the little brother I never knew I didn't need. And he had a tendency to come over and just sit on my floor. And Devin and I wouldn't have been friends if we hadn't lived next door to each other. Devin is a jock. He has a bull ring from when he played in some championship of some kind. He was the front man for a jock rock type band. Like, this was not my friend. But he walked in the door and Alabaster dropped her scissors. She was like, oh my God. Like, after Devin left, she was like, you gotta warn me that you had pretty boys like that next door. Oh my God. This shit was hilarious. When I went to visit her at the ICU, like, everybody knows her name is Jeff now, but not everybody knew that. But you could walk into that ICU and be like, I'm here to see Alabaster, and they know who you met. The first time I went to the ICU, there were already 2 people in there. There were 4 people in front of me. Somebody had come in from North Carolina to see her, and by the time I left the room, there were 3 more people waiting to see her after that. This only bitch I know that had a wait list at a hospital. I mean, for real. And I walked into her hospital room, and she was, it's just like everybody said. She didn't act like she was sick. I walked in, and she went, oh, thank God, bitch. Grab you some gloves and scratch my back. So that's what I did. And I brought Forrest with me, and Forrest hates hospitals, but I know how much Alabaster liked Forrest. So I brought Forrest in, and she went, oh, good. Like, you know how she was. And Alabaster was a force of nature. She was the fiercest bitch in the room at any given moment. She would walk into a room and own it, even if she didn't know anybody in it. Baby, I love you. I'm glad you're not in pain anymore, but I hate it like hell for us. And even more than that, I hate it like hell for everybody who's not going to get to meet you now. Because at least if you take away one thing, remember that we are the people who were cool enough to know her. So in closing, I'm going to do a song, and I am going to use the mic just because that's how I practiced it. Y'all are going to know this song. So if you want to sing along, please do. Oh wait, hang on. Technical difficulties. It turned itself off. Oh. There we go. Oh. Technical difficulties, my bad. Start it over. You gotta start it all the way over. There we go. Alright. If you know it, you can sing along.
return, and it gleamed for the arriving beauty queen. Hurry and a car, now you're the prettiest by far. No party she'd not attend, no invitation she wouldn't send. Transfixed by the inner sound of your promise to be found. Oh, nothing, oh no one will ever make me let you down. Kiss them for me, I may be delayed. Kiss them for me if I am delayed. It's divine, oh it's serene, the fountains of pink champagne, someone carving their devotion in the heart-shaped pool of fame. Oh,
Hell yes, dance along.
nothing, oh no one will ever make me let you down. Kiss them for me, I may be delayed. Kiss them for me, I may find myself delayed. On the road to New Orleans, a spray of stars hit the screen as the time thin black shimmer, the forbidden candles beam. Oh, kiss them for me, I may be delayed. Kiss them for me, I may find myself delayed. Kiss them for me, kiss them for me. Kiss them for me, I may find myself delayed. Kiss them for me, oh kiss them for me. Kiss them for me, I may find myself delayed.
I love you, bitch. And yes, I sang Susie fucking Sue at a funeral for you.
Good job. My love. My name's Cassandra. I'm probably gonna bawl because I haven't let myself totally bawl yet. I'm from Colorado. I met Alabaster in St. John in the Caribbean, and I'm here to bring love from St. John in Love City. And I'm from Keith Hansen. I met her. She was a childhood friend of Keith Hansen, and he was a great friend of mine, still is. On the beach in Cinnamon Bay in the Caribbean, watching the sunset, and we sat for hours on the beach and laughed and had the best time. And we became friends immediately, like everybody does with her, because she's just so damn funny and sassy, and why not? I ended up, a couple years later, moving to Marietta, Georgia, which I never thought I'd be in Georgia in my entire life, but she was my first and best friend here. I used to take my little boy, I came here 7 months pregnant, his name's Chaz, over to her house and visit with her parents, and her dad was in a wheelchair at the time, and I'll never forget the time that he pulled his prosthetic leg off and gave it to Chaz. So that was fun. She gave him her Pokemon collection, which everybody knows she had a ton of cards, and I'm a total music whore. I've always followed bands and loved music in my own way, so we would just sit for hours and she would just burn me mountains of CDs and introduce me to bands I never would have known and to a part of Atlanta and Georgia that I never knew existed. And she made me feel at home, and I just love her so dearly. But again, I wanted to say the Caribbean and the ocean remembers you and loves you. Thanks, guys.
No, I'm going back up for another round, y'all. As I'm listening to everybody, I keep being reminded of things I wanted to say. And a lot of us have reached the age now where we have kids of our own, and Alabaster loved the kids, and I don't think I ever met a kid that didn't love Alabaster. There's just something about her. My nephew Bailey, I raised him for about 3 years, or about 5 years, from when he was like 2 till about 7. And Alabaster would come over to our house and we'd go swimming. She was there every day. You know, Bailey was with me and Alabaster more than anybody else. And one day when he was about 5, he looked at me and said, "Kristi, is Aunt Juju really a girl or a boy?" And I said, "Well, why do you ask me that?" And he said, "Well, she acts like a girl and she sometimes dresses like a girl, but she has a beard." And, you know, it was such a simple explanation. I just said, you know, Alabaster's a girl. She just kind of looks like a boy. And, okay, and went with it. But I just going out in public with her, and you know, kids would see her, especially when she was all done up, and you know, her eyes would get huge, and she would just go over and interact with them. I love that about her. The unconditional love, I think, is what I'm going to miss. And I'm sure all of you have heard her talk about that. She loved us all unconditionally. Last summer, I was diagnosed with cancer myself, and Alabaster and I had kind of a falling out and hadn't spoken in a few months. And I called her at 2:30 in the morning from the hospital. I said, "Mama, I need you." And she dropped everything, and she was there in 20 minutes. I don't even know how she got there, but she was there. When she got there, I was passed out. I vaguely remember her. I know she was there because I woke up with a framed picture of Grace Jones in my room. So I knew she must have come at some point. But really, I guess the main thing that I wanted to say, because a lot of people have asked me, and you know, Charlie mentioned that she did go peacefully, and you know, when she was in the hospital, I think she realized that it was going to be soon, and she kept telling everybody, "I have to go home. I need to be at home." Charlie and I had just moved into a new house maybe a week or two ago, and you know, we got a house with a big sunny front bedroom for her, and had it all set up, and I told her, she was so excited, she couldn't wait to get home. And what breaks my heart is that she didn't say this to me, but I've heard so many other people say that she kept telling them she needed to go home so she could make sure I was okay and take care of me. Bitch couldn't stand up. I don't know what she was going to do. But we got her home. They brought her in an ambulance, and when she got there, she was kind of incoherent and didn't seem to really be aware of what was going on, and kind of stressed out and agitated. And we got her inside, and you know, Charlie and I went in, and I held her hand, and I said, "Mama, we're so glad you're here. We're, you know, welcome home." And she was moaning and just didn't seem very comfortable. And when I said that, she stopped and she opened her eyes and looked at me, and for a minute she was lucid. And she knew I was there. She knew Charlie was there. She looked around and saw that she was home.
And she put her head back and closed her eyes. The moaning stopped, and it seemed like she fell asleep. She, was breathing deeply, and I went in and I gave her a kiss and told her that we loved her and that we were all going to miss her, but, do what you need to do, and if it's time for you to go, it's okay. And she, within about probably 5 or 10 minutes, her breathing slowed and she was gone. But I want you to all know that she was at home. She was where she wanted to be. She wasn't in pain. She was comfortable, and her very last word, Charlie came in there because, we couldn't get her attention and she kept moaning, and Charlie said, I know what to do. He comes in, he says, girl, I got you some Tahitian treat, that carbonated Hawaiian punch stuff that she likes. And he said, you want a sip? She said, uh-huh. So he put it up to her mouth. She was having a hard time getting the straw in her mouth, so he kind of sucked some up and dropped it in her mouth, and she said, and like it was the best thing, and that was her last word. She had got that last sip of Tahitian treat, and she was ready to go. Like I said, she loved every one of us unconditionally. My grandmother, my mother, the most conservative people in the world, still just couldn't help but love her. And she left us so many gifts. She taught me how to be strong and how to suck it up. She taught me that, that I'm never alone. And I'm really going to miss her like everybody else. But I think one of the best gifts that she left, I wasn't a club kid. I went to the chamber twice when Robin dragged me there. And I felt very uncomfortable. It was not my scene at all. But I did have a lot of fun there. And, she still was friends with me, even though I was not nearly as cool as the rest of you. But I'm sorry I keep losing my point. I do have one. I'm trying to get to it. I know I said that and I completely lost it. Sorry. This is why she loved me so much. These great conversations. I guess that's really about it. I do think it was very fitting that she was home in time to spend Mother's Day with her mom. She loved her mom so much. We got a picture of her mother that she'll be buried with, and I don't know what happens to us when we die. I personally hope we're reincarnated because I've got big plans for next time around. But when it's my time, if I end up walking down that tunnel and there's the light at the end and there are people there that wait for you, God, I hope she's there waiting for me. I hope that most of you are going to go to the Woodbridge Inn after this for the reception. If you're not planning to go, we do have a condolences book that I would love for you to sign before you leave here if you're not going to make it over to the inn, so that we can, just keep up with everybody. But, my point, I found it. The greatest gift I think that she left us was bringing all of us together from all these different groups who, I've heard of a lot of you I've never met, but in the past week I've made so many new friends on Facebook, and I think it's wonderful. I think this is what she wanted, was to bring us all together and share that love that she had for every one of us with each other. Even though she's not here, that love isn't going anywhere. So I guess that's about it. I love you so much, Mama. My life will always be missing a huge chunk without you there.
Thank you, Kristi.
Let me pick up all my tissues.
A lot of stories shared, a lot of memories shared, but most importantly, a lot of love shared. We will now lower the body into the ground. If you'd like to stay, you're welcome to, but I would suggest gathering over in this field. We need to be out from under the tents. Once they lower, they will then continue with the dirt. Again, if you'd like to stay, that would be fine, but if you need to go, that is fine too. As you leave us today, Go in peace. We're dismissed.
Biodegradable glitter.
Absolutely. You know she needed the sparkle.
He's here.
Quite glittery enough there. Sparkly enough.
Who's that? Your dad? From the hospital, you said? No matter where you go, Beth.
And that's not why I was in all the clubs. And then the crazy thing is I had seen everything early on because I had a reason for it. And I would go to clubs and something way before I was in them because I think the first time I was looking right at them. We'd be backstage.
Yeah, you ready? Let's do it. You wanna go? Go, go, go. You can go either way.
think I was gonna just pour them. All right, I'm ready. You wanna pour? You wanna pour up and I'll pour down?
Dump it.
We'll do it.
Dump it. Dump it.
There you go. That's it.
She wants all the flowers.
Yeah, right, she does.
spaceship for you, but it wouldn't get us anywhere tonight. And you can start a revolution, but we both know it will never end. It won't end this stupid fight. I just wanna laugh with you, burn our ships and start anew. Don't you wanna try? a spaceship for you that will take you right up to the stars tonight. It will be a spaceship for two. If you're gonna make it to the moon, I'll be right there by your side. I just wanna laugh with you, leave the world and start anew. We just gotta try.
battles. I have battles. Each one I win says I want more.
Heard all of the stories, bought all of the lies, fell so far from glory, kept shutting my eyes. We give and we take, create and break. We got fire in the soul. What we do as we're told, wasting away to numb all the pain. Scared to get old and being alone, throwing away what we rightfully own. Who's to decide what's wrong and what's right? If we could be fearless, fearless. Every heart knows that's where the love grows. Fearless, fearless. Let all your love show, then there'll be no more fear. Caught up in the system, forgetting that I'm living and breathing. I want more out of life. We give, we take, create, then break. We got fire in the soul, what we do as we're told, wasting away to numb all the pain. Scared to get old and being alone, throwing away what we rightfully own. Who's to decide what's wrong and what's right? If we could be fearless, fearless. Every heart knows that's where the love grows. Fearless, fearless. Let all your love show, then there'll be no more fear.
In my soul and I got fire. In my soul and I got fire. In my soul and I got fire. In my soul and I got fire.
Heard all of the stories, now writing my own. If we could be fearless, fearless. Every heart knows that's where the love grows. Fearless, fearless. Let all your love show, then there'll be no more fear.
Sometimes it's easy to lose when you thought you would win. Sometimes you feel like a fraud, but I won't play the game if I know that the score don't exist. I played it off like I'm a winner. I'm living inside of an apartment that is dark as that new. I'm turning bottles into oceans. I'll tell you whatever I want and let you think it's the truth. I played it off like I'm a winner. I'm living inside of an apartment that is dark as that new. I'm turning bottles into oceans. I'll tell you whatever I want and let you think it's the truth. Babe, don't make a sound. 2 a.m. love, gotta keep it down. Don't wait around for a signal now. Give me some verb, I ain't talking down. You wanna ride in the 6, you wanna dine in the 6. But when I lean for the kiss, you said I'll probably send you some pics. And I'm like, hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah. Babe, just hit the pedal. If things go wrong, it's just incidental. My bad, never got the memo that you never have fun while you're in the limo. Yeah, you wanna ride in the 6, you wanna dine in the 6. But when I lean for the kiss, you said I'll probably send you some pics. And I'm like, hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my sense. Yeah.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a blood, gonna drown a mind. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. scene. I make no apologies. This is me.
Top of your stairs and you're pushing me down. It only gives me a thrill when I hit the ground. Boy, you got me exposed, but I feel no shame. This pleasure needs pain. This pleasure needs pain. This pleasure needs. 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 Top of your stairs and you're pushing me down. It only gives me a thrill when I hit the ground. Boy, you got me exposed, but I feel no shame. This pleasure needs pain. This pleasure needs pain. This pleasure needs. This pleasure needs pain. This pleasure needs. This pleasure needs pain. This pleasure needs. This pleasure needs. This pleasure needs. This pleasure needs pain. I tumble from the sun. You didn't hear me come. You didn't hear me come. As I tumble from the sun. You heard the green grass all summer long. You heard the raven song on the wind. The waves crash. You heard the river run and dance among the sand and the stars. So you didn't hear me come. You didn't hear me come. As I tumble from the sun. You didn't hear me come. You didn't hear me come. As I tumble from the sun. Come on, thunder. Sing out with the rain that you ask against the pain as she falls. 'Cause I know it's hard to make changes. Shake your fist against the wall. You didn't hear me come. You didn't hear me come. As I tumble from the sun. You didn't hear me come. You didn't hear me come. As I tumble from the sun. I know it's hard to make changes. Shake your fist against the wall. There's a forest where the willows grow, a place to call your own, call your own. And they whisper everything you know. You follow as they go, as they go. So you didn't hear me come. You didn't hear me come. As I tumble from the sun. You didn't hear me come. You didn't hear me come. As I tumble from the sun.
is walking down the street and it kills me, their happiness.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would away forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, gave you another name, switch up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing the little hope, you can't shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. We set out on a mission to find our inner peace, make it everlasting, so nothing's incomplete. It's easy being with you, sacred simplicity. As long as we're together, there's no place I'd rather be. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, gave you another name, switch up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing the little hope, you can't shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. There's no place I'd rather be.
rather be. I seek you out, flay you alive. One more word and you won't survive. And I'm not scared of your stolen power. See right through you anyhow. I won't soothe your pain. I won't ease your strain. You'll be waiting in vain. I got nothing for you to gain. I'm taking it slow, feeding my flame. Shoveling the cards of your game. And just in time, in the right place, suddenly I will play my ace. I will soothe your pain. I won't ease your strain. You'll be waiting in vain. I got nothing for you to gain. Eyes on fire, your spine is ablaze. Feeling any foe in my gaze. And just in time, in the right place, steadily emerging with grace. Failing any foe in my gaze. Steadily emerging with grace. Failing any foe in my gaze. Steadily emerging with grace.
Nobody can tell ya. There's only one
of the road where the lorries rolling by. Blue moon sinking from the weight of the load, and the buildings scrape the sky. Cold wind ripping down the valley of dawn, and the morning paper flies. Dead man lying by the side of the road with the daylight in his eyes. Don't let it bring you down, it's only castles burning. Find someone who's turning, and you will come around. You will come around. Blind man running through the light of the night with an answer in his hand. Come on down to the river of sight, and you can really understand. Red lights flashing through the window in the rain. Can you hear the sirens moan? White kid lying in a gutter in the lane, and you're walking home alone. Don't let it bring you down, it's only castles burning. Find someone who's turning, and you will come around.
begun to feel my heart burned open wide, till nothing else remains except the fires from which I came. Like parted souls, divided for an age, on wonder I'd embrace, and the world anew again. But now this picture from me fades, from still's cold hand there's no reprieve, like the fire in me. Shine your light on me. Illuminate me. Make me complete. Lay me down and wash this world from me. Open the skies and burn it all away. 'Cause I've been waiting all my life, just waiting for you to shine. Shine your light on me. I dreamt the world with my eyes open, but time moved on and then new worlds begin again. Hold my heart in this universe